In the previous lesson, Mary and Claire created a graph of the sine function. The sine function can be thought of as relating an object's angle of rotation with its height above the midline as it travels along a circular path. In this lesson, they will modify the sine function so that it gives the height above the ground of a student named April as she travels on a Ferris wheel. But first, they draw a picture of the Ferris wheel and estimate April's height at several points in her journey.
April boards a Ferris wheel. At the 3 o'clock position, the Ferris wheel has a radius of 36 feet and the center of the wheel is 40 feet high. Draw a picture of the Ferris wheel. Show April's height above the ground at several points in the journey.
I get
Okay,
it.
so we'll draw a
So
circle.
whatever her height is, we have to add 4 feet to it.
Okay.
Because the Ferris wheel, like the bottom of the Ferris wheel, is 4 feet above the ground.
I see.
Yeah. Here's a Ferris wheel.
Because if the center, I'll use green. If the center is 46 feet and the radius is 36, no, it's not 46, sorry. If the center is 40 feet from the ground and the radius is 36 feet,
Mm-hmm.
This is 40.
that means, no, that's 36.
This is
This
36?
this line is 40 from the center to the ground.
Okay.
So we have to add, this is, here I'll make a little note. In a different color. Four feet. So like from the bottom of the,
40.
well, just this little section is 4 feet
okay.
because the radius would have to be 36 here plus 4 would get 40 to the ground.
I see.
So when she starts, she's already 4 feet above the ground.
Okay.
The students will now mark in April's height at several points in her journey.
Whoa. My bad. But and then wait. So that one.
Okay.
So here she's like just starting out. And so this is kind of like it's like it's negative, like it's the opposite of what we said the 1/4 ratio was. The 1/4 pi ratio was on this.
Wait,
with the
I'm confused. Are we saying that underneath right here is negative, but I thought we were measuring from the ground up?
well, I'm just saying that's the same kind of concept. So that's the same ratio as this one, but it's yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
As they were marking in heights, Claire made the point that the distance from the midline to the first stop and the distance from the midline to the second stop will be the same if we assume the angle below the midline to the first stop is the same as the angle above the midline to the second stop. The students don't explore this in more detail, but pause the video to see if you can understand Claire's argument.
Could you guesstimate what those heights would be in feet?
Would they be in feet?
Yeah, just make a rough
Let's-
estimate and then and
So-
write them down. So let's look at the first stop, that first
Yeah.
purple stop. What would you say that would be?
So
And what do you know it
obviously
has
there's
to be?
Yeah.
4,
I'm gonna guess
20. No, not 20.
no,
No.
that'd be. I'm gonna guess
'Guess
16 feet.
Okay, let's go ahead and just
I'm gonna
mark
say
that in.
14.
16 or 14?
Okay, sure. Let's put let's put a guess. Okay. What what about stop 2?
Stop 2. This is our stop 2, hey?
Yeah. Oh, so we're guessing that from here and here, it's about 16 to 14, plus this 4. So maybe what we do, so let's ignore this 4 for a second. So
Wait, there's already 36. There's already 40. So that's 40. Now we just need this.
yeah,
Mary pointed out that at stop 2, They know April is at least 40 feet off the ground since she is above the midline. So they just need to guess what April's height above the Ferris wheel's midline is and add it to 40 to estimate her height at stop 2.
So if we just ignore the 4 feet, from just the bottom of the Ferris wheel to this point would be approximately 12, because if you subtract the 4 from like the 16, for example, it'd be about 12 just from the bottom to the stop. So like what I'm thinking, so like this here, just from, I'll get a different color. Blue, like a different blue. So like just from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
So like not counting this 4 feet right now.
Yeah.
So we said from here down to the ground was about 16 or 14.
Yeah.
But if you don't count how far the Ferris wheel is from the ground, then like if you just get rid of this 4 feet, then it would be either 12 or 10
Okay. But
feet. But then what I was thinking is, since
are we measuring it from the ground to here or from the bottom of the Ferris wheel to here?
from the ground to here, but like this is, I'm just like, it's like a process.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what we do then is here, so like here we're measuring a minimum portion of this midline here.
Okay.
So if we're measuring instead, like here, the minimum portion would be from here to here, but that's not what we need.
Mm-hmm.
We need this. So then I'm just doing 36 minus the 12 or 10 kind of thing.
Okay.
And then finding this portion and then adding it to 40, because 36 plus 4 is 40 kind of thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're like getting 12 right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're subtracting.
I'm subtracting 12 from 36 because
okay.
the whole like radius is 36 here.
Mm-hmm. So wait. So the 12 is equal to that, and then
Yeah.
subtracting 12 from that gives you this?
Yeah. Subtracting
Okay.
12 from just 36 gives you this portion right here, the bigger portion. And then you have to add 40 because you're including the 4 feet here and the 36 on the bottom to get all the way
Yeah.
down to the ground.
Okay.
In this episode, the students estimated April's height above the ground at 2 points in her journey. They decided that at stop 1, the height would be around 16 or 14 feet. They then used this information to figure out April's height at stop 2. Since April was about 16 feet above the ground at stop 1, she must have been about 12 feet above the bottom of the Ferris wheel. This means she must have been 36 minus 12, or 24 feet below the midline. Since the distance from the midline to stop 1 is the same as the distance from the midline to stop 2, April's height above the midline must have also been 24 feet at stop 2. Since the midline is 40 feet above the ground, April must have been about 40 plus 24, or 64 feet above the ground at stop 2. In the next episode, they will use a calculator to find April's height above the ground at several more points in her journey.